They're back in these lands for one thing.
The Predator franchise started as a film starring the Governator in a role that exuded the macho masculine vibe, but it ended up transforming the horror genre forever, more specifically, the creature features. The first Predator film became a massive success the world over, and the second one was almost equally good. But then the franchise started losing its charm, especially after the Predator started fighting the aliens. Things went to pot with movies like The Predator, but hey, 2022 brought us Prey, starring Amber Midhunter and directed by Dan Trachtenberg. It received an amazing response from critics and fans alike. Many were skeptical of a female lead, and few still are, but I think Naru did a great job taking down the feral predator. The film ended with 3 predators coming to Earth, as was seen in previous films like Predator 2 and Alien vs. Predator. Now, both these movies showed that the predators came down to Earth because they wanted to pick up their fallen soldier and pay respect to the people who managed to stand their ground while facing this fallen soldier. However, we're not entirely sure if that's what's gonna happen in the confirmed sequel to Prey. It's been confirmed that the sequel will come to life, and in all probability, Amber Midhunter will reprise her role as Naru during the early 18th century in the Great Plains. But she will definitely get back to fighting the galaxy's greatest and most honorable hunters to protect her tribe and her people. It's been 2 years since the release of the prequel, and it was about time that we got news of the sequel film. Prey 2 is at the early stages of development, and 20th Century Studios is readying up for the next one, which is probably going to be titled Badlands. Apart from Naru's character, no other cast member has been confirmed yet, but it's definitely going to take place in the same setting as the previous film, so you may expect some of the cast members to return in Prey 2. Now, as you may have guessed, Prey 2 will break a major franchise tradition by bringing the same lead character in 2 Predator films. In the previous films of the Predator franchise, we saw Arnold, Danny Glover, and Adrian Brody take up the role of the Predator killers, but none of them came back for another film. Clearly, Amber Midhunter is gonna change that, and I for one am all for it, but I do want to know what you think about it. Are you of the opinion that Predator films should continue to be male-dominated, or do you want it to be like the previous films, where a new story and a new setting is brought to life? It was evident pretty early that Prey's success would ensure a sequel in quick succession, but they took a bit of time to confirm it. Now that it has been confirmed already, I believe the studio will go all guns blazing to bring us Prey 2, maybe in the latter half of 2025. Naru was declared the war chief at the end of Prey, which means that there would be less of the political and sexist drama in the sequel, and her tribespeople would be more keen to follow her orders. I mean, she has proven her acumen and mettle when it comes to dealing with these apex hunters. The feral predator was a particularly nasty variant of the predators, with its tribal weaponry and all that. It was a shift from the weapons and gadgets used by the predators of the earlier films, whose weapons looked tribal but were technologically more advanced. And to be honest, I like the setting. I mean, yes, we humans really don't have much of a chance against these creatures. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch did a great job. Him defeating the Predator seemed believable, especially after the major beating he took. Danny Glover's Lieutenant Mike Harrigan, an LAPD officer, did not ring the same bells, and it kinda felt like he only defeated the city hunter Predator because he was wearing a really tough body armor. Adrian Brody, on the other hand, had a lot of help from his fellow prisoners on the Game Preserve planet. But Naru, she uses only her skills as a tribal woman. Skills she needs to survive and thrive, because hunting is really her way of life. So I'm all for her as a hero, and someone who manages to defeat not 1, but 3 predators. You see, ultimately these guys bleed. And as Mr. Schwarzenegger once said, if it bleeds, we can kill it. But for that, you need someone who's adept at hunting, someone who knows exactly how a hunter thinks. No matter when the next film arrives or who stars in it, let's just be glad that it's happening and is being written and directed by the same man who held the directorial reins for the first film, Dan Trachtenberg. If you've got even a passing knowledge of Marvelous videos, you would know that we're big fans of all kinds of horror, sci-fi, and fantasy IPs. We've done innumerable videos on Predators, explaining characters and arcs from comics, and basically everything like that. So stick around for more Marvelous content.